Good morning, all. Hello, and welcome to our What's New in LoadRunner 1255 release webinar. We are proud, honored, and thrilled to host you in this webinar in our very new hat as Microfocus, and we appreciate the time you took to join us today to hear about our latest and greatest release of LoadRunner 1255. We are honored to have with us today Vicky Giavelli, LoadRunner's and Performance Center Product Manager, who will walk you through the highlights of the new release, and myself, Lior, from the cost team. What are we going to cover today? We are going to talk about some enhancements in web protocol, TruClient enhancements, JMeter integration, yes, the future, IoT, Internet of Things, desktop protocols, controller and analysis, and we will summarize with some questions if we still have the time. As with all our webinars, we encourage you to ask questions during the session. Our operators are standing by, as we like to say, and simply ask your questions in the WebEx chat interface. Please make sure to direct your questions to everyone, not to PLV Cost privately, but to everyone, so that all can see the questions and our R&D representatives will be able to answer. Okay, remember, to everyone, not just to PLV Cost. But if your question does not get answered online, worry not. We are collecting all questions and we will publish them in an organized Q&A document along with the recording, the slide deck, and everything we will add. So, without further ado, Vicky, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. We are very, very happy to have you here. I just want to share a little bit about the motivation and the reasoning behind version 1255, particularly for LoadRunner in this case. You guys can see some other areas there, but those are more related to Performance Center side. So today we will focus mainly on LoadRunner. On version 1255 for LoadRunner, we continue modernizing the scripting technologies for web and mobile, while we also enhance our support for non-web protocols. On this version, we are entering the IoT world, and we are adding support for MQTT and COAP, which are the two most popular protocols in the market when it comes to IoT. There are multiple protocol enhancements that we will cover later on, updated technology and support when it comes, for example, to operating systems and different technologies, and improved usability around the web scripting. So you guys will see a lot of enhancements related to web and TruClient protocols, which of course all of those continue to raise the bar for application performance engineers. This version also marks an important milestone for us as we embed other scripting solutions, allowing the customers to take advantage of existing assets, mainly used by developers. And we are talking about JMeter scripts that we will also cover later today. We are also focusing on all the DevOps area stories, including enhancements into continuous integration tools, virtualization solutions, third-party solutions when it comes to scripting, but also application monitoring, and more. And we keep delivering a high-quality product that continues to be the leader in the performance testing space. I wanted to share the value of version 1255 and what are the benefits that we are having with this particular solution. So what I'm showing here are some of the most popular problems in the market and how we are solving those with version 1255 for LoadRunner. We are reducing the scripting time. In today's application development, there is little time for scripting for automation and even less time for script maintenance. In order to get critical performance feedback to the developers earlier in the development lifecycle, it is extremely necessary to automate testing quickly and efficiently, with less rework in each of those iterations. TruClient plays a relevant role here since it offers a quick alternative for testing in constrained development. Users will spend less time creating and maintaining those particular scripts. On version 1255, we are expanding capabilities with the introduction of the coded version of TruClient that is right now released as a tech preview, and we will explore later on, which is very flexible and attractive option for the developer community mainly. The web protocol, which is used by many thousands of companies, is finally getting renovated. Some of the work includes a new correlation rules as well a new correlation mechanism that it's introduced in order to help the performance engineer to handle all those particular dynamic data. We also have introduced a recording summary report, which is one of the features that we will discuss later today. That basically provides a general overview of what happening while the user was recording the script, and it will help you to filter traffic and focus in the script on those particular areas that we consider will cover the complete business process. So you can filter and adjust as necessary. So this is when it comes to how are we reducing the scripting time. Another important area on this particular release is the fact that we are reusing developer assets and we are enhancing open source scripting, in this case capabilities, with the execution of JMeter scripts. As I said, starting on this version, we will allow the users the possibility to execute JMeter scripts. Important point is the fact that they can be executed as they are. There is no need to tweak or to convert the script. Just as you have it, just bring it over and we will be used as part of any particular scenario. Advanced execution and of course higher scalability is one of the things that it will be provided as part of this version. So the users can run JMeter scripts in combination with any other Vuegen scripts. This of course will allow the reuse the assets so that things can actually test faster, more frequent, reusing the assets, and also providing another advanced capabilities, for example, analysis capabilities. Important point here is the fact that JMeter is provided with a community version in version 1255. So users don't need an extra license. They don't pay for a particular license. There is no limitation when it comes to the expiration of that license or the amount of virtual users that can be executed. You guys will see this in the product label as a beta. And of course, it's because we wanted to get feedback from the community and make sure the implementation actually meet their expectations and of course collect feedback to enhance moving forward. Following this trend, we want the users to get the most from their testing ecosystem. With the integration with third-party solutions, like I said, JMeter, we also added an integration with Dynatrace. We also have Docker load generators, which is something that it was added actually in previous versions for LoadRunner. Basically, here we want the customers to take advantage of the investment, the knowledge, the process, everything that they have in place when it comes to the usage of LoadRunner. And therefore, it doesn't matter what tool is being used, either if the users would like to use JMeter, for example, to script. So it doesn't matter. We will be able to consolidate them and use and leverage advanced LoadRunner capabilities when it comes to execution and analysis. Dynatrace integration is now available. Monitors can be added directly while designing your scenario. All the data is consolidated and reported back into a single UI, which is extremely convenient. And then you can actually consolidate all the information into a single report. We want the users to take advantage of the investment on our performance solutions and leverage third-party solutions, not only execution, but also monitoring. Like I said, all the data is presented into a single UI and all the reports can actually be consolidated. As Lior mentioned, we added support, modern support, in order to embrace the IoT world. So we started this journey on this version with two particular protocols. The most popular ones in the market. So we consider with two particular protocols, then we are actually offering more coverage when it comes to the IoT world. So we have MQTT, which we will be covering today, is a solution that it's embedded in Vuegen. And then we also have support for COAP, which is a different protocol. And this actually is delivered as an add-on. So it will require the users just to go ahead and install the add-on directly from the marketplace. So we will explore in a little bit. So this is in general the value of the version. A lot of good things are we bringing with this particular version. So now I would like just to recap quickly the key updates and how are we going to focus on those today. When it comes to the rebranding, for those who have not the time actually yet to download the product, 1255 is our HPE branded version. This particular change not only is affected the product, well, not affected, it's also renovating the product. but also the documentation. So you guys will see everything now with a new logo, new branding, and it actually looks pretty okay, pretty good. Another important item that we are releasing here is the JMeter integration. And you guys might be wondering, is this real? So let me tell you a little bit about the motivation when we start working into this. So first, we want the users to use LoadRunner as one entry point for execution performance testing script. It doesn't matter if the users would like to use JMeter because that's the preference, the preferred tool. So we want to leverage the capabilities that we offer with LoadRunner. So that's why we want the users just to go ahead and execute, to use the scripts as they are. So also we want to stay relevant with the open source community that are already using JMeter, and they are comfy using that tool, and they don't have intentions to move to Vuegen, for example. So we added 4 new dedicated graphs for JMeter: active threads, hits per second, throughput, and transactions. So you guys can see those, and also in the analysis, you can review particular graphs and use advanced analysis capabilities, for example, granularity, which is something that the users really like. And everything is going to get consolidated. As I said, on this particular version, 1255, is going to be labeled as a beta because we want to get feedback. So I encourage you to just give it a try and let us know how it goes. And also the community license, which means it's free, no limitation when it comes to the amount of users that can be executed or the expiration of the date. We also added the integration with Dynatrace, which is something that a lot of users are already using, and they were just asking us to complete this particular integration. So there are 2 important things here. First, the users can see the web transactions directly in Dynatrace UI by just adding the headers directly in Vuegen, for example. So what we did is we just enabled those in Vuegen, more easy, more convenient. And then we also added an integration with Dynatrace from the controller UI. So basically, we follow the same approach. The user just need to define the monitor in LoadRunner. So we need just the server, the credentials. Once we are connected, we will get access to the full list of measurements available, dashboards and dashlegs, how it's called in Dynatrace. We select whatever we like. Then all the data is coming directly from Dynatrace to the controller. Everything is gathered and displayed directly in the controller UI. Very, very convenient. A couple of other important items, it's the fact that we enhance our support for HTTP streaming. You guys might recall we started this journey in 1253. So now we completed, we enhanced it, and we added new capabilities when it comes to scripting and also execution. So we added support for IoT that Lior will be covered later today. Many enhancement requests were added as part of version 1255. Actually, more than 40 enhancement requests from different customers. So I encourage you to look at the list, the release notes. And of course, if it's something that it requires priority, please let us know. We will cover as well as part of the session today, the recording summary, the enhancements when it comes to the correlation that I mentioned. It will help you to script faster and reduce the customization of the time that the performance engineer will take while recording those particular scripts. And then we also explored the coded version of TruClient. Basically, now we allow the users the possibility to convert TruClient actions into code. This enables the user to take advantage of fast scripting development. It is very useful. One of the very good things of TruClient is the fact that this is quite simple, pretty straightforward. But this requirement, customers really like it more like a hands-on approach, specifically for ad customization, object identification, more complex logic. So that's what we are providing this particular feature. It's actually labeled as a tech preview because once again, we just wanted to get feedback from you and understand actually how you like to use it, what's not working, what can be improved. So once again, I encourage you to just give it a try and explore. With that said, this is a high-level overview. Lior will drill down into the particular details. If you guys have questions, please start posting and we will continue answering. So sit and enjoy the rest of the session.
Thank you, Vicky. So now let's dive in to the features and see firsthand what we've been up to, starting with the improvements in web protocol. As you all know, and we know it too, the most challenging part in web scripting is the correlation. We are constantly working on improving this, and 1255 is no exception. We've reshaped the correlation rules database with new rules, updated existing ones, and removed some obsolete application rules. The new rules we added are largely based on information we received from you, our customers, through the different surveys and collaboration. So keep sending us feedback. Everything you're giving us will someday be in the roadmap and as an item. We've also given emphasis to commonly used frameworks such as SAP, Oracle, and etc. So what's in plan for the future, you ask? Good question. We plan to introduce an automatic rules database update where we will be pushing new updates to that database and suggest to you, our customers, to retrieve these new rules. We also plan to introduce a social network for sharing of correlation rules between users. Moving on to a brand new feature in the correlation mechanism, attribute-based correlation, also known or fondly known as ABC. As you know, when creating a correlation rule, you need to add exact delimiters to what you want to capture, be it in XPath or boundary-based or regular expression. In attribute-based correlation, which is relevant for HTML output only, you define the attribute to be correlated, and the rule will capture it, regardless of its location in the output. You can see in the example in the slide deck what I'm talking about. The attribute value, highlighted here, is in different locations in the output, but the rule will capture it regardless. There is a new WebReg save param attrib API function that you can see an example here as well. This is how it looks like in the rule definition, okay? And this is how it looks like in the Design Studio. You see the drop list under the type. There's the attribute-based, but the regular expression or boundary-based are still there. We simply gave you another option to deal with HTML output. Moving on to the last feature, not so dramatic, but one of the most important features I wanted to talk about in this web section, and that is the recording summary report. Once you finish recording a script and wait for its generation, VueGen will also compile this report that shows you everything that was transmitted between VueGen and your AUT during the recording phase. Transport format, versions, SSL settings, hosts involved, headers and HTTP response code, content types, recommendations for DFE, and more. I do want to focus on the hosts involved part. You all know that when you use certain browsers for recording, there will be calls to third-party domains during the recording phase. These calls are not really needed in your final script, and you usually find yourself either deleting them manually or using the network filtering feature that has been available since 12.02 to exclude them from your script, be it before the generation or the regeneration part. So life just got easier. In the recording summary report, you will receive a list of these third-party domains as they were captured during the recording phase. And with a simple uncheck of one domain or multiple domains, you just remove them from the list, regenerate your script, and voila, your script is now clean from these unnecessary calls. Let me show you how it looks like in real. Okay. And this is the report. Okay, as you can see, I have several third-party domains. I will now uncheck the call to Microsoft.com. I will regenerate my script, doing this live right now so you can see. I didn't show you the call to Microsoft.com, but trust me, it's there. It's creating a new script for me. And let me show you my action C. Sorry, No calls anymore. So this is it. And I can of course bring it back. Sorry. And I have additional information here as well. Bytes sent, bytes received, requests, connections, content types, headers, everything I can use for this script. Okay, so moving back to my presentation. The end result, just want to focus on this in just one more minute, reducing your scripting time and providing you with the most efficient script possible for your business needs. Now, before we move on to our next features, you can see here a list of everything else we've poured into Web Protocol, and you can see that the list is large. If you have requests for additional enhancements, feel free, email us, and we will do our best to put these in our backlogs. Our next order of business, TruClient. As you know, TruClient has several flavors and many integrations, including Mobile Center, BPM, network virtualization, and more. Our first priority, as always, is to improve the user experience and performance, of course, in TruClient. You can see in the table shown here the vast performance improvements achieved in this release in comparison with the previous ones. Now, you're asking yourself, is this like web? So the answer is no. TruClient still has a footprint of one browser to one vUser, but we are doing everything we can to continue in improving this footprint and the overall usage in TruClient. We have also significantly improved the TruClient native mobile flavor for working with real devices, again with tight integration with Mobile Center. And this brings me to the whole new feature in TruClient, which we call coded TruClient or TruClient coded, depends if you read left to right, right to left, and we are presenting this in this release as a technical preview. So you all know what a TruClient script looks like. It is model-based, clear text, and edited with different events and object references. Some of the feedback we received over the years on TruClient is that while it is easier to script than web, our users would still like to get a look at the internals of the code. Okay, so there you go. With the click of a button, you can now convert your TruClient script from model to JavaScript. It works on all TruClient flavors. It can contain both model actions and coded actions. It supports code completion. And there's also an object spy that allows you to identify the objects from the application you're recording and adding them to the code. Meaning you can either record model, convert it to code, or you can start from code, from scratch. How does it look like? Again, let's see it live. Okay, here is my TruClient script. Let me open the development IDE. Okay, good old model-based. Pressing on convert, I get my conversion settings. I can convert this current action, all actions, many other options, all of course documented. I'm converting my script, and there it is, code. You can see transaction start, transaction end, an object, DC manage, okay? Everything you had in the model script, you have here in code. Now, suppose you change your mind after coding. You can convert back to the model base, but note, any modification you will do in your code script will be lost. You will be reverting to the last saved model version of the script. Okay. Okay. Moving back to the slide deck. A few screenshots for you to view later on. And to our next and exciting feature, JMeter integration. Before that, making sure we are in halftime. I still have your attention, and please keep asking questions, and remember, forward your questions to everyone in the WebEx chat interface. So JMeter, yes, as Vicky said, this is not a mistake. The line is clear. We did say JMeter. So LoadRunner 1255, and of course Performance Center 1255 with that, allows you to run your JMeter script side by side with LoadRunner scripts on local or remote load generators, thus using your pick of scripting method and still enjoying the added benefit of one of the best analysis tools in the market, LoadRunner Analysis. There are a few prerequisites to enable this new feature. For one, have JMeter installed on the machine, both controller and load generator. Make sure you can run the JMeter script on the machine before running it in LoadRunner. Okay? Script your file in JMeter, run it, make sure it's okay, and you're good to go. Make sure your basic environment variables are configured, such as JMeter Home and of course Java Home, well, basic JMeter configuration. There is also a special runtime setting for JMeter scripts, which I will show you shortly, that you have to configure to enable controller to collect the measurements during runtime and of course to present them in analysis post-run. So again, nothing is better than showing it live. So I'm showing it live. Controller, you see here, choosing my JMX file. Before starting the new scenarios, I have a new radio button called JMeter script. You will note here that the duration is run until completion. Why? The duration is configured in the JMX file. You will also note that I am running one vuser. Again, why? Since the number of threads is configured in the JMX file. I can have a JMeter script that is configured to run 300 threads, comparing to 300 virtual users. I will need only one virtual user. As Vicky said, this is in the community license for this release. Now, when running, you can see here JMeter graphs are populated. I have the data. Again, you can see here JMeter active threads, 10 active threads, even though I configured one virtual user. Now, when the run is completed, I will open analysis. Note, by default, the JMeter graphs are not added. I need to add them manually by choosing the add new item, add new graph, and choosing the JMeter graphs. But of course, as with analysis, you can configure your template and have these generated once the template is applied. Everything is possible with LoadRunner analysis. Now, with what I mentioned earlier, runtime settings, see here, slightly different than I will call it a legacy LoadRunner scenario, control scenario. You need to check the start measurement checkbox. You can modify the ports or use the default, and JMeter path needs to be configured either here explicitly or through the JMeter Home environment variable. You can see here configured like so. Don't put the bin folder, okay, just the Apache JMeter, and you're good to go. And moving back to the presentation. A few screenshots on how it looks like. And moving on to the future, okay, that is already here. Internet of Things, IoT. I don't know if you all know, but Gartner says that more than 6.4 billion Internet of Things, IoT, devices will be in use by 2017. That number will grow to more than 20 billion by 2027. And we are here in this breakthrough with both MQTT and COAP protocols, the latter through a partnership with our friends at Endpoint IoT. Let's begin with MQTT. So MQTT, or Message Queue Telemetry Transport, is an ISO standard, publish-subscribe-based lightweight messaging protocol for use on top of the TCP/IP protocol. It is designed for connections with remote locations where a small code footprint is required or the network bandwidth is limited. LoadRunner's support here is through a simple, lightweight, and replay-only protocol. It is designed to generate load on an MQTT broker by emulating sensors or device behavior. It currently supports broker authentication and SSL TLS connections. Here you see a few screenshots of how it looks like in ViewGen. We provide you with a template for the script. You will need to edit it with the proper parameters, and then it's good to go. The community license provided with 1255 includes MQTT as well, and you can run 50 virtual users on this protocol. We've also added MQTT graphs to controller, so you can review the stats in real time. Needless to say that analysis will also reflect these graphs post-run. As mentioned before, there is also the addition of the COAP support in LoadRunner 1255 through a partnership with Endpoint IoT. The COAP protocol, or Constrained Application Protocol, allows performance testing against front-end COAP proxies with the supported methods or verbs to determine scalability and reliability under heavy use. It can be used through an add-in that is available in the SaaS marketplace. Okay, the Micro Focus SaaS marketplace. You can download it, install it, all the documentation is there, and feel free, we are here to help with any questions possible. Moving on to our desktop protocol support. We never rest, always innovating and trying to give you more with our products. So here we are innovating through the PC over IP protocol, where we embedded a new client for this VDI, as well as supporting VMware Horizon View in PC over IP. In Citrix support, we are generating snapshots on the controller, added functionality to the Citrix agent so it passes its PID to client side, and added session type detection. We've added the support for JDBC connections, and in addition, we've added IP spoofing support for Java over HTTP. Last, but of course not least, controller and analysis innovations. In controller, we've improved, rejuvenated, I would like to say, the NV Insights report, both in ViewGen, of course, and in controller, adding client-side breakdown information on waterfall for TruClient scripts, resource breakdown page, and displaying text execution errors. Let me show you the new report. I'm currently showing this one that is generated from ViewGen. You can see here we've improved the UI. Let's dive into one of the transactions. I'm choosing one that got a bad grade. You can see here the optimization report telling me what I need to do to improve my work. I have the HTTP waterfall for each and every object. You get the request headers, the response headers, the timeline breakdown, resource, and any recommendation that is relevant for said resource. Resource analysis, again, giving you more information, more breakdowns. Try it. Download LoadRunner, install network virtualization, explore the report, and see this very, very efficient tool that helps you in your day-to-day work. In analysis, we improved on two very important areas. We have improved its performance when opening big results, and we've added a retry and failsafe mechanism for data collation when working with remote load generators. And that's it. Now, before you leave, let's see what we've been going over here. We reviewed the new features in LoadRunner 1255, mainly coded TruClient, the recording summary report, JMeter support, and of course, the other great additions. And now is your time. This is your call to action. Visit the Help Center in lrhelp.sas.hpe.com. Visit the community where you can share with others any issues or feedback you encounter, ask questions, receive help. See what's new in LoadRunner 1255 with the What's New document. And of course, go, go, go. Thunderbirds are go. Download, install 1255 and tell us what you think. We would love to hear from you. We will also like to take this chance and invite anyone, and I do mean anyone, who is interested to join our cost programs that, contrary to the name, do not cost you anything, stands for Customer-Oriented Scenario Testing, as you know. And we would like you to either join our Design Partners program, where you can review the plans for new features and share your thoughts, take part in our beta programs and work with us side by side on validating new features before they are GA, or join our Early Adopters program, where you get to be the first that work on a GA product. We would also like to share with you what's next in our education program. Performance Center 1255 What's New webinar set for September 19th, and our Web Protocol webinar, a deep dive into web, set for October 3rd. It is planned as a 3-session series, but as you know, plans can be modified, but currently this is the plan and this is what we would like to do. I would like to conclude with thanking you all for taking the time and joining us. We are still here online for the next 10 minutes, ready for all your questions. We will take them through the WebEx chat interface. Please ask anything you want. We are here to help, and also by email in plvcost@microfocus.com. Thank you. Have a great day, and we hope you enjoyed this webinar. Have a great day now. Bye-bye.